abusiamfo aha etutu so asem asi empanyifo bu bebi se obibi na ye aboa kontrofi mekire monkey a okotokro enkasroda Mali president Asimi Goita wakwakopiem ewo Moscow a one Vladimir Putin akoyesi ena wako sign nuclear deal. Na sa nuclear deal no nuclear power plant a yede ba supply the whole Malian country. Na sa nuclear deal no enye asem kitwa. Oko Russia power plant ya omu use no nyina nuclear power plant ena Russia use. Enti sa pepe ena opese Mali, Burkina and Niger. Almost already Burkina Faso Ibrahim Traore is the father to Vladimir Putin. Into omo nuclear power plant no omo shall say air building. Omo say connectivity no ama say Mali Asimi Goita the president. Ono so wanya kwan any Vladimir Putin atenase. Video na hwe na memo wati mu ase. Ama say ono ni bi no akọ agreement oversees the same nuclear power plant na Russia ma Burkina Faso oversee the Mali. Wow. Vladimir Putin per se these three alliance AES, this alliance of Sahel state, Mali, Burkina and Niger, what do you akana ho say na obu in development or per se omo develop anka first no France for manage Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. She say when say diversity abam. Na anka nema say France onya free sa three countries with ni nyina a divert call Russia because Vladimir Putin say all the way mana obe make sure say it will be replaced by another thing for you. It is a APR or no code deal na osi man uranium, man gold, man bauxite, man sia or be calculate the items, the price of the item na wabisa odi ope na wababeye na odi amount. Eno na France for omo hu sa nyansa na ene omo ho akire omo because no omo de omo se minu na efon Sahel state flow Japani without doing anything for them in replace. Problem on one facing now. Yenti video no emu asem ewa.
Asimi Goita, Putin, and nuclear energy. That was the trio that sent shockwaves through global capitals this week as Mali's interim president signed a game-changing nuclear agreement in Moscow. But what does this really mean? Is this just a symbolic gesture or the start of a massive power shift in West Africa? And why is the West suddenly in panic mode? Because while the headlines scream nuclear deal, the deeper story is even more explosive. What is the greatest reason for this visit? What else is being signed behind closed Kremlin doors? And could this be the moment Mali truly escapes France's long shadow? You'll want to stay with us to the very end, because we're about to unravel how one deal could change the future of energy, security, and sovereignty for not just Mali, but the entire Sahel. Welcome to Azizi Africa. We don't just chase trends, we verify facts. Every story we tell is backed by trusted sources, official statements, or eyewitness reports, and no fictions. If that's the kind of Africa you want to see more of, then like this video, share it, and subscribe. Let's rewrite the African story, together. The full name is Colonel Asimi Goita, and this was no ordinary visit. The Malian leader arrived in Moscow under tight security after a secretive late-night flight, dispatched directly by Vladimir Putin's personal jet. Waiting for him on the ground, a full Russian military reception, and a red carpet rolled out in honor of a man the West once dismissed as just another coup leader. That image is gone. Because now, Asimi Goita is shaping Mali's future on his own terms, walking shoulder to shoulder with global heavyweights like Putin. And at the center of this new alliance, energy, sovereignty, and nuclear power. So here are the facts. During this high-stakes state visit, multiple agreements were signed between the Russian Federation and Mali. But the most significant, without question, is the nuclear deal. Rosatom, Russia's state nuclear agency, has officially entered into a partnership with Mali's Ministry of Energy. On paper, it's about peaceful uses of nuclear energy. But on a deeper level, it's about one word: independence. For decades, Mali has struggled with unreliable power infrastructure, limited national grids, and a near-total dependency on foreign imports. The West offered debt, Russia is offering development. But that's not the full story. To understand why this nuclear deal has the West so alarmed, we need to rewind the clock. Back when Mali was still seen as a loyal outpost of French influence in West Africa, energy was just one part of a much larger dependency web. From currency control through the CFA franc to military dependency on French troops, Mali was never truly free. Then came the shift. The same wave that brought Captain Ibrahim Traoré to power in Burkina Faso swept across the Sahel. Mali, under Goita, broke ranks with Paris. French troops were ordered out. Military partnerships with Russia deepened. And slowly, the idea of an independent Sahel began to take form. But energy was always the Achilles heel. Now, that vulnerability is being addressed head-on, with nuclear energy. Mali, like Burkina Faso and Niger, sits on vast reserves of uranium. But under neo-colonialism,
the truth so. But what the answer the truth community Ghana.
that era may be ending. Because this nuclear deal is not just about importing Russian tech. It's about training engineers, building reactors, owning the infrastructure, and eventually creating a nuclear-powered AES alliance of Sahel states' energy grid that bypasses Western dependency entirely. So ask yourself, why is the West panicking? Because they understand exactly what this means. It means the old power structures are collapsing. It means Mali, a landlocked nation that once depended on handouts, is now at the table of great powers as an equal. And most importantly, it means the Sahel is no longer begging for aid, it's building its future. Comment if you believe in a nuclear-powered Sahel. Freedom for Africa. Now let's zoom into the turning point of this story. The moment Asimi Goita and Vladimir Putin sat face-to-face in the Kremlin wasn't just about protocol, it was about optics. Putin welcomed Goita as an official head of state, not a pariah, not a junta leader, but a peer. The same man Western leaders refused to shake hands with is being embraced in the halls of Moscow. And that image is powerful. At the signing ceremony, Goita looked calm, composed, and in control. 3 major agreements were inked: a general framework for Mali-Russia relations, a trade and technical commission, and the landmark deal on nuclear cooperation. This wasn't done in secret. Cameras flashed. Flags were raised. The world was invited to watch. Because this was a statement that echoes the moves of Ibrahim Traoré, who also signed massive industrial and mining partnerships with Russia and China, choosing East over West. Burkina Faso and Mali are walking the same path side by side. And it begs the question, is this the birth of a new geopolitical axis in Africa? Should the AES bloc move towards a shared nuclear energy program? Would you support a pan-African nuclear grid? Tell us in the comments, AES forever. Let's be clear, the deal does not include weapons. Mali is not building a bomb. But to many in Washington, Paris, and Brussels, the mere idea of a Russia-backed African nation with nuclear capabilities, even peaceful ones, is terrifying. Because power plants bring power, not just electric grids, but political leverage. If Mali can light up its cities, run its factories, and sell electricity to its neighbors, then the IMF and World Bank lose their grip. If AES countries cooperate on energy, then France's hold over the Sahel is gone for good. And if this works in Mali, it will inspire others. Chad, Guinea, even Senegal. That's the quiet revolution unfolding right now. So what's next? Well, this is just the beginning. Asimi Goita is on a 5-day state visit. Behind closed doors, more agreements are likely being discussed. Mining, defense, education, infrastructure. There's even talk of Mali joining a Russian-led energy development fund. That could mean regional investments, fuel storage facilities, new grid systems, and advanced vocational training for African engineers. And let's not forget this. Russia and Mali are already cooperating on military matters. With this visit, those ties will likely deepen. Would you support a full military-industrial partnership between AES countries and Russia? Should Mali and Burkina Faso build joint energy academies to train young nuclear scientists? Comment below. I stand with Goita. And yes, this whole movement mirrors the path set by Ibrahim Traoré. Traoré made it clear. The future belongs to Africans who control their own resources, build their own industries, and tell their own stories. Now Goita is doing exactly that. Not with guns, but with pens, policies, and partnerships. So what is the greatest reason for this visit? The short answer, dignity. The long answer, a long overdue correction to decades of dependency, betrayal, and broken promises from Western powers. This nuclear deal is not just about power, it's about pride. Pride in African minds, African minerals, African leadership, and the timing is perfect. As the West becomes distracted by wars and elections, Africa is quietly repositioning itself. No longer content with charity, it is choosing capability. And here's what they don't want you to realize. The world needs Africa more than Africa needs the world. Because in this new era, uranium is power, lithium is leverage, sovereignty is wealth. So what happens when the AES states go nuclear? The same thing that happens when any nation rises on its own terms. First they laugh, then they fear, then they copy. But by then it's too late. The blueprint is African. So let's ask you one final time. Do you support a strong, nuclear-powered, self-reliant Africa? Then say it loud in the comments. Africa must rise. Freedom for Africa. AES forever. I stand with Goita. If you believe in an Africa rising on its own terms, if you support this movement for dignity, self-reliance, and transformation, then be part of the change. Like this video. Share it far and wide. And let the world know that a new Africa is not only possible, it's already here.